Now let's say that instead of this being an easy number to just pick the spacing and instances on, let's say this was an off-ball size. So let's hop into that original sketch, and let's make this 15.625, 5. So 15 and 5/8. And we still want the holes to be evenly spaced. So instead of having to do the math, what we can do is exit the sketch. We can go to linear pattern again. We can pick, let's say this is the direction. Features and faces, we'll again want to hit this drop down, pick our feature. And then instead of spacing instances, which you can do math in here. So like for your distance, you could say you want to do, let's do 15.625 divided by 7. So you can do math in there and it will spit out the number. Or we can use this up to reference tool. So we can pick what our reference line is. So let's say our reference is this line right there. That's where we want our pattern to stop, which that could be a sketch point or a line on the face. Let's say, okay, let's put this back to, there we go. Now you can see what's happening. Okay, so when you originally do reference, what it will do is it will stop at that reference point. But we want it to be spaced off by an inch. So what we can do is this guy is the offset. So let's type in an inch. And you can switch whether it's offset that line, that reference line, which way it is offset by. So that's going to be plus an inch, this is minus an inch. And then you can just very easily, centroid means that it's going to be based off of the center of a part. If you're patterning something other than a hole, though, you will want to be able to select the actual reference. You might want it to be like the left or the top right. Centroid is easiest with circles because it just picks the center point. But you will be able to very easily just change the numbers, and it will. You won't have to do any math. You won't have to remember the numbers, or if the length changes, it won't matter. It will just automatically update such that you have this number of spaces, 1 inch offset from this edge, which you can also use a variable in this. And then another thing you can do, so let's pick direction 2, up to reference again, pick that line, offset by an inch, 1 inch, this way, centroid, and then instead of inch spacing, we want to be able to pick a number of spaces, which that looks good. Another thing that we have, though, is instances to skip. So let's say that we don't need these top 3 corner holes. We can very easily go and click any of these points that we don't need. So let's say that we don't need every other hole on top. You can just click and turn them off. And you get this. So that can be a big help when you have a large grid, but there's certain ones that will interfere with other geometry that you need. So that is the linear pattern tool.